Good afternoon. Today we're doing a social media health check for Pro Lawn. My name is Kiram from Clear Imaging, and I went ahead and opened up your Facebook. Here it is right here. So let's just dive right in. I see you've got some followers, which is great. One thing I want to let you know, so if you want to increase followers, there's 3 ways you can do that. One of them is by doing a page like ad in Facebook. So, like our page ad. It can be $1 or $2 per follower. So if you're spending $1,000 a month, you might get 500 or 1,000 followers like that. Otherwise, the way to get reels is the way to get followers is by making very quality reels above average, and that will get you followers. Otherwise, if you give people this link, if you share that, tell them to click on these 3 buttons here, these 3 dots, and click invite friends. So you can send this to your coworkers, your friends, your family, even your customers. And then when they're logged in, it'll be all their own personal Facebook friends lists. And then they can invite all of them. This is free, and it's a good way. I mean, you can get 1,000 followers that way pretty quickly. However, you have to do the follow-up to make sure people actually do it. So on to another topic is engagement. I see we've got a couple likes here, a couple there. And if we look at how many followers you have, you might be thinking, well, how am I only getting 2 or 3 or 8 likes if I have all these followers? It's because Facebook is only showing these posts to maybe 2%. So if you have 1,000 followers, that's not a lot of people, right? 2% of 100 is 2 people. So, 20 to 30 people or so are seeing your post. So it makes sense that you might only get 10 likes. It's just the nature of the game now, because Facebook wants you to pay to show it to all your followers. So when you do a post, as you know, there'll be a little blue link here that says boost. And then when you click that, then, okay, if you spend, I don't know, $10, $5, it'll show it to all your followers. If you spend more, you can show it to people, you can choose the audience, right? When you boost a post. So you can come, let's see where you're located, here in Wisconsin. So you can pick various counties in Wisconsin, various cities, or you can just, show it to your followers. So that's the game. You got to pay to play, unfortunately. It used to be different, right? We know 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would get free exposure, but now they make you pay. Now the way I would use this, though, is considering that the work you're doing here is very creative. You're making these beautiful transformations, right? Outdoor kitchens, pergolas, right? I mean, we got the water feature, the hardscapes. So when you do a job like this, it would be really great if you documented it with the ugly house beforehand. It's like a torn up lawn, or it's not very nice. Whatever it is before, it's ugly. And when you're done, it's beautiful. So if you could document that with various video clips through this process, just a few seconds each, and then you come to Facebook, you get those video clips all stitched together, and you post that video, and then you boost it and show it to everyone in your service area, right? Everyone in the various cities or counties that you serve, and that might cost, it all depends how many, the populations, but if you put 1,000 or 2,000 or 500, whatever your budget is, you can really get a lot of good exposure with an excellent piece of content, because this would be kind of like your ambassador, you know what I mean? This beautiful transformation, it's showing what you're doing, and you're able to get in front of all those eyeballs. But of course you have to pay to do that. So 500, I wouldn't recommend anything less than 1,000 a month for your Facebook ad. And for 1,000 a month, maybe you get 40,000 views. It kind of varies. It varies because if the video is really bad, then Facebook has to show it to lots of people to count as a view. If the video is very good, Facebook only needs to show it to a few people to count it as a view. So the better the video is, the more people it'll reach when you're doing that ad. I know that might sound confusing. Just take the long story short is make sure the video is really good if you're going to do an ad with it and show it to your service area. If you just want to do your typical boosting, you know, $5 for this one, that's a different story. You know, you just throw some dollar bills at these posts, that's fine. But if you want to make a really special video, put a lot of time into it, then you need to make it really quality and, you know, spend $500 to $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Over on your YouTube channel, I love that you're doing videos and shorts. You might be dismayed at your view count. The one thing I checked out some of your videos, I really like it. Like this one was great. Where's the Ice Baby one? Yeah, love this. So you definitely have a good creative sense, and you need to keep creating and not let the view count make you feel like you're failing. Don't let that dissuade you, all right? Don't even look at your view count. That's what I do. I don't even look at the view counts because, you know, you put in all this work and it only gets blah, 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 and you feel like giving up. Well, don't give up. You're doing great. I need you to keep making your videos. Keep them personal and, you know, cute and human, you know, things around do you have a garden center? I can't tell. Maybe you have a garden center. So things around the garden center, right? The display, maybe it looks like you have a showroom, doing jobs. Now one thing I would recommend is you make your edits, you do more edits. So this one right here, I really like, but if you notice, it's called a long shot. In other words, the shot goes on the whole time and there's no cuts. So it's good that you're zooming in. I would recommend to start with doing more cuts. So starting wide, changing the angle, getting other angles, getting close-ups more, and making them quicker. Because remember, people are on here and they are, you know, half awake. They're just consuming content, right? People are just like zoned out. And if the shots are too long, they're gonna zone out and scroll up. We don't want that. So in order to avoid that, you need to do quicker cuts, like 2-second clips, 3-second clips, I mean that. Let's check out another one here. Love this. Music is awesome, by the way. So already we needed to cut it, and then on the next clip we need to be closer in. See what I'm saying? We need to keep a rhythm and not just a long shot the whole time. That keeps the audience engaged because they feel the change more. It grabs their attention than if the shot is just going on and on like this. Even though there's motion in this shot, it's still not enough to fully engage the viewer. So if this was, you know, 15 seconds, if it's 30 seconds, so we need to actually have 10 separate 3-second clips with getting closer, getting wider, different angles, overhead, you know what I'm saying? Just really tell the story from a lot of angles. So let's just start with that, and I want you to see how that changes your view count and how you can tell these stories. So the long story short with these shorts is the more effort you put into them, typically the better they'll perform. That's not always true, but it's usually true, and it's a good thing, because if you know something, then you won't feel like you're kind of like blind and in the dark about this whole video thing, right? Like how do you make a video that has more views? Well, put more time into the video, really get more picky with the shots, do more edits, you know, watch it and show it to your team and have them give their opinion of how it looks. But keep going with this, and I also recommend checking on Instagram and like checking on the search function for, you know, landscape design ideas or backyard makeover ideas, and see what other people are making that's getting millions of views, and just get some inspiration there and try to do your own version of that. That's what I really recommend for that one. That'll kind of help you get out of a rut if you feel like you're in a rut on creating these videos. See what some of these other really successful ones are doing and do it with your own twist. That way it's still original. All right, so if you want help with your social media, we've got our services right over here. And while we don't do video editing, we do posts, right? And the more you pay here, the more posts we do here. And we also do run the Facebook ad that I was mentioning earlier, as long as you shoot the footage. So that's something we do as well. So if you want someone to take that off your plate so you can work on the business and not in the business, I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, if you just have questions, I'd love to answer them. Let us know, if you want to know more about YouTube or Facebook, etc., etc. Don't be shy. All right, so until then, thank you very much and take care.